Agency mooks. 40 days of Dune. March 13th, 2024. Hi, I'm Grim Grizz. If you're just some rando here because there was Dune in the title, let me tell you this. Before the end of this, there's a very special Frank Herbert quote in Frank Herbert's voice that's going to be in this. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, this one might take a little while to get off the ground, but there's like 4 cards worth. We're gonna have a show today, folks. Welcome. I'm Grim Grizz. This is a live stream. We come together to think in the hive mind and on the stream and be virtually not alone. It's fun. We do it all the time. You'll like it. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody.
I'm not a cat. This means that the individual's psyche is far from being safely synthesized. On the contrary, it threatens to fragment only too easily under the onslaught of unchecked emotions. While this situation is familiar to us from the studies of anthropologists, it is not so irrelevant to our own advanced civilization as it might seem. We, too, can become dissociated and lose our identity. We can be possessed and altered by moods or become unreasonable and unable to recall important facts about ourselves or others, so that people ask, "What the devil has gotten into you?" We talk about being able to control ourselves, but self-control is a rare and remarkable virtue.
Oh, you guys in the hive mind this morning. What a crowd we have. What a crowd we have. President Foxman was put on your still suits. A rare appearance from the Cosmic Muffet. And some weird guy. Oh, calling himself a weird guy. This guy, the weird ortho. Apparently there's been a namespace change, and that's actually what's triggered half of this show. So we'll see what that's about first, and then I'll give you guys some savings throws. What the hell are you up to, Steven?
So welcome to Weird Orthodoxy. My name is Steve Osborne.
What? And now you're Muslim? Holy, what the is going on here?
This channel is meant to be a part of the TLC, this little corner. And in it, I want to explore American Orthodoxy, what that might mean, what it might become, what it is, what it might become. And I have a view that's a little bit different. I come from no organized religion. I've only been a part of an organized religion for 10 months now as a catechumen in the Orthodox Church. And getting involved in the Orthodox Church, I never really looked at anything else. It was seemingly, apparently to me, just the right thing for me. But of course, I live in an American context, and I'm interested in what everybody else is doing. And this little corner is trying to figure out what the next steps are towards meaning, probably involving Christianity, but maybe even a wider net than that. I had the opportunity to go to Turkey last fall, and in it, I went to a performance of the Whirling Dervishes, who are embodying and acting the philosophy of a poet, theologian, mystic named Rumi, and that kind of threw me a bit. I thought, well,
Hobo's Lullaby. Go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the town go drifting by. Listen to the steel rails a-hummin'. That's a hobo's lullaby.
And McMo with the what do you call it? All right. Well, if it was the D&D McMo, it would be like you make a perception check, and you fail the check, but you think you make the check, and the party gets ambushed anyway. There is no secret assistant today. Chad, this is a weird venue to do so. Okay, and listen to the sandworms a-humming. That's a Dune lullaby. All right. We're going to do savings throws against mind control here because you're going to need them. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Those are your choices. I have a die representing each one of those. I roll it. If your choice gets over 10 on the die, then you take half damage from the mind control that's coming out of me and the hive mind toward you during this experience. And maybe the rest of your day. And if it's under 10, you take full damage, but at least you know you're taking damage and have been reminded that you swim in mind control of all sorts, and that's even if you only count commercials. Speaking of which, the products like this shirt are available in the links below the stream. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. We have No, yes, we have disciples for survival today. That's a 12. We got a pair. We got paired it up. We social with an 8, the power of 8, and wisdom with the power of 8. Just a hive mind chat bonus to make you get to 10. Hard folks, prime 17. Prime 17, you're doing something special today. Indigo kids, Baker's Coven. Baker's Coven for you. There is no spice die. There is no spice die. You can't save on the basis of spice.
Remember, there is no agency. We want what's best.
Well, welcome. It seems it's time we spend some time in the desert and in our adventures in the intellectual property, story, myth, and hootenanny. And so the 40 days of Dune has begun. 40 days in the desert with Dune. Let's do it. Let's ring it out. Let's ring out some Frank Herbert. The agency mooks part. That'll be fun too. When we get there. First though, I saw a notification and I started watching it. Gavin Palmer on the Noahide laws. He doesn't look happy. You don't look happy in this one, Gavin. What's going on over there?
Hello. I'm going to read what I wrote this morning about God's laws to all of humanity, sometimes referred to as the Noahide laws or the 7 laws to Noah. And I'll read that. I was inspired by.
Let me give you a little disclaimer about the Noahide laws. I've had discussions with proponents thereof via these little channels and internet conversations we've been having, you see. And it turns out, you know how we have skin to protect our internal organs and then garments of flesh to protect our skins. It's like the Noahide laws are for the formation of essentially garments of Gentiles to protect the important people from other dangers. And that's how I understand them. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments of the replay.
Multiple people, and this process of sharing writing, I would invite you to criticize. I have babies, I have children, so my writing is not my baby. So do not have any fear that you will it will not feel like you are attacking my baby. If you were to come in my house and attack my baby, that'd be one thing, but attacking this thing that I created, this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gavin Palmer, the Matthew McConaughey of where's the and apparently I'm doing a live stream called the 40 Days of Dune. Agency mooks. That must mean I'm Grimgriz. Welcome, everybody. Let's see, the card for the show from the casino deck, which has been restored. The Jack of Hearts. Welcome. I think I haven't played enough branding today. What? And how is that possible? No, Lenny, I still got coffee. So I got this on the. You know, I do cards for the show, and it said namespace because Steven turned into a weird ortho overnight. And I just wanted the thoughts that came to me around that notion was how namespace is really important in this mimetic information sea that we're in. Like the fact that anyone gave a gave a the fact Cosmic Skeptic got the namespace of Cosmic Skeptic, and that namespace was probably responsible for most of the success that the same way the Digital Gnosis got any credibility was because of the name Digital Gnosis. And like, especially on these platforms, owning a particular namespace and it being unique makes you much more viable. And the way that works made me think of like a mimetic domain name server, right? And then how that basically that's what language is. It just points to different websites of this means this, and then that means it's refer. Yeah, it was, and then then from there, it went to the way we make up fancy Vervaeke words and the creation of new language in opposition to the dystopia presented in 1984, where Newspeak kept making the language smaller and smaller. And that's that part of that card. Hot damn. Oh, hello, Saint Sartori. Good to see you. Have you chosen an opponent for the April Fool's Conversation cage match yet? It's I don't know. It's a fun game we might be able to pull off. I think it'd be fast. See, right? We haven't filled out the card, right? We're working on an events card. We have two so far. The Pastor Paul and me, which he has not affirmed, and also the Lobster Chad and the Tom guy. But we have half a confirmation from Sal Copperman that he'll be doing he's willing to go one-on-one with T-Grog as our title event. I think I've proposed some other events, but those are the only ones I believe that have been near agreed to. Let's finalize that agreement, Paul. You got this message, right? You watch my streams, you know this is happening. This is a message for Pastor Paul Vanderclay. I saw who you had on your show this morning. The horrible things that man said about the kayfabe. And I just want you to know that I'm going to destroy you in the April Fool's Conversation cage match. Yes, I totally am. And you can sponsor that at the link in the top of the Hive Mind chat.
Now what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
I listen to him. I think he is telling us the truth. That is indeed what he wants. Those of you who are sort of sniffing for duplicity or grift or dishonesty, I don't smell any of that here. I think
we all know that there is no agency, any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
All right. I don't know. Riding the wave of a stream like a surfboard. This one feels funky. Could the channel members give me a Denimor's Denny as a boost to help me get through this? I'd really appreciate it. It'd mean a lot to me. Here's a music break. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. That really helps. Hey, it's Parlato, recently starring with Christian Baxter over on the Christian Baxter YT channel. YT channel. I haven't seen any of that. I'm sure it's in the clip stream. Let's set up a nice Reaper harvest on Friday and see if we can't pull that together. You know how that means. To head on over to the Broken Clock Tower Discord, down into the clip stream. And put your 7 in the go indication that this was a valuable clip. You see, it looks like this. Is if you think this one Bart Beard put in was good, you put on the ad reaction and then the 7 indigo, and then we'll pull the top 7 indigo ones. It looks like that. We'll put the top ones of those in the Reaper Harvest on Friday. What do you guys think about that?
Brandon, marked with a coward shame. What do you do when you're branded? Will you fight for your name?
And now, in case you're new here, I try to deliver on both the title, 40 Days of Dune, and the thumbnail of the stream. The thumbnail of the stream today says Agency Mooks. And if you're new around here, it might be weird when you hear things like, remember it.
This agency. We want.
But to either add or remove from your confusion, when we're speaking of agency in the terms of agency mooks, we're referring to agency as literally the capacity to care. Like your dog cannot care about certain things; it's beyond his capacity to care. Global politics. You're just someone doing a job in a town somewhere. Not a congressional representative. You don't even know who your congressional representatives are. Maybe that piece of information about global warfare is beyond your capacity to care. So agency, therefore, for the purposes of agency mooks, is the capacity to care. And in case you still, as I mentioned the term for fancy Vervaeke words, this is fancy Vervaeke, and here are some of his words.
Culture is experiencing a profound meaning crisis, a crisis in meaning. The environmental crisis, the socioeconomic crisis. But in addition to those, there is a meaning crisis, which is being discussed quite significantly within academia, but needs to be brought to the public at large. But what is this meaning that's come into crisis? Why do we hunger for it? How do we cultivate the wisdom to generate, enhance this meaning? Wisdom is about realizing, in both senses of the word, becoming aware and making real. Wisdom is about realizing meaning in life in a profound way. What is this meaning? Wisdom is about realizing meaning in life in a profound way. Why do we hunger for it? What are some practices that people can engage in and are engaging in? Wisdom is about realizing meaning in life in a profound way. How do we cultivate the wisdom to realize it? We're going through a mental health crisis. Suicide is spiking, and it's, right? Now, there are some socioeconomic factors, but there's clearly other things that are at work. Right? There's an increasing sense.
Oh, what a dadgum blunder. What a dadgum blunder. That was from his playlist, the Vervaeke Meaning Wave, but I totally meant to play this one.
So let me ask you about this. So now all of a sudden, the network, everyone's a TV station.
It really works well when the actual orientation is love.
The very processes that make us intelligently adaptive also make us vulnerable to self-deceptive, self-destructive behavior.
Care, capacity to be agents, being a self-organizing, self-correcting, self-optimizing. Care,
capacity to be agents, self-developing, evolving process. Care to create the conditions of meaning making. Care to create the conditions of meaning making. What we're actually engaging in, is agape.
Each of us has an angel.
Agape is to love for its own sake, the process. Because my valuing of it does not constitute it into existence. I emerge from it and participate in it. We have to care about the conditions that make any caring possible. And
That part. We have to care about the conditions that make caring possible. That's agency. That's the that I'd like to be mooking and knighting for, I think. This whole mooking and knight thing, mostly, I'm glad you showed up. You I think grok it way better than most. Let's try and get the it is known, Khaleesi, understanding. I can't, they're not mimetically sticking. Like mooking and knighting and mooks and knights does stick, but the rest isn't sticking. I need to pan that out more. We're going to be going over a little, we're going to do what we call a little adjunct professing on Pastor Paul's homeroom today, because he pulled, see, this whole thing, I call the Beholder Project. She looks like this. You can get her on the shirt. Where's she at? There she is. And it's how we're all those little eyeball stalks, right? And we feed into the one big brain, and then the big brain projects the best of what the little eyeballs have found, and and then all the eyeballs are also watching that. It's a reciprocal recursive loop of processing information together. It's filtering the signal from the noise. So we go then to see what Pastor Paul pulled up. It's the ContraPoints lookalike he was fond of, perhaps. And let's see how it opens. Let's see the opening.
Auditorium and the fanfare plays. Dun, da, 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 da. And I know that the 20th Century Fox fanfare belongs to the studio, not to the Star Wars franchise. But I think on some subliminal.
So we're apparently talking about the Fancy Pants New Dune, and I have some immediate things to filter through for you with regards to the Fancy Pants New Dune. And the first is that there was it's part 2, and in the first part they did what I call the cucking of Paul Atreides, where you could tell that there was the woke mind virus had influenced the production of the film in small and subtle ways, like the gender swap of Lietkines, perhaps. And but specifically, there's a key pivotal moment in the scene that's got on my channel but full of copyrights, where I compared the David Lynch version with the new one, so you can see the contrast of how in one, the David Lynch version, Paul Atreides does it by himself, and in the new version, Paul Atreides manages to do it because his mommy's doing it for him outside the door. And with just when you're exposing yourself to this mimetic mind control of the Dune, please be advised that it has been infiltrated and thusly corrupted.
So say we all. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Ho, ho, ho.
And now, Lenny, we've reached the portion of the show where you're out of the room.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room?
I want to cast Magic Missile. The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet.
I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Hey, look at all the magic missiles we got from the hive mind today. I love those. Okay. Where are we at? let's see. We're doing the Dune thing. We're talking. Okay, all right. Now we talk about. I've mentioned this fancy Vervaeke guy and his fancy Vervaeke words. His main shtick is this thing called relevance realization, and it involves how your assessment of the situation is your salience landscape. Okay, and the point I have on this card I need to make about the Dune thing is I've been playing a lot of Civilization. I tried 6; it doesn't run well on this computer, so I went back to Civilization 5, and in it, you can use religion to sway the populations of and get all sorts of benefits of other cities, and in the same way, if you see the thing about Civilization is that you guide humanity throughout I don't know, from 8,000 BC to 2000 usually, and similarly the story of Dune, if you get past the first book, is the story of humanity surviving through the aeons. And anyway, from the Civilization point of view, from this plane that we're living in right now, and the salience, the mimetic salience landscape of cognitive thought of the populations. Okay, please say somebody's still with me. The re-release of Dune and the concepts that are in Dune into the thought ecology, as it were, will have specific effects. Like, let's prime the populace with the concept of jihad. Why would we want to do that as a move, as a overarching architect of humanity's reality that the positions of power appear to be in? Why would we prime them for such things? What?
Remember, Embody,
There is no agency. We want
what's best.
Hey, let's hear more of what Paul said.
The first book was the best, and then the sequels got successively less interesting. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that, especially with respect to. So Damien contrasts Dune with Star Wars, and that's a really apt contrast given the Jungian ideas deep beneath them, sort of, that came up through the surface.
I have an eyewitness account from the hive mind from Cosmic Muppet who says he installed Modern Warfare 3 the other day to see what's up, and that those playing it are being programmed full of zombie imagery and noble young jihadists.
And Dune 2 is the Star Wars killer. Damien goes into that. And then I found this other video. Algo started serving me up this channel, Jess of the Shire, that I had never.
Quick shout out to not like the personification and deification of Algo as Algo. Don't let that smuggling slide by your mind. Roll a save.
Never heard anything about. And of course, because I love Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, and the video that I got served up was Why Do We Love Dune? I watched a little bit of that, and then Tolkien's problems with Dune.
This video has been,
and of course it's got paid promotions in there, and she's a lovely young woman, and she's talking about Tolkien. And
see, this is it. This is the beholdering, the multi-layer cognitive process and information filtering we do. He found this little gem and is presenting it to his hive mind, which we overlap with in the flotilla.
And a lot of the backstory. It's an excellent video. It's only 28 minutes. I very much recommend it. And she also went into sort of the Frank Herbert Tolkien thing. So Mr. Lanier, who was behind the Chilton automotive manuals that I used to use to fix the cheap car.
Set up. He doesn't read it for a long time. And finally he says it's too damn grim.
parallels many Catholic teachings to the Christ analogies that can be made for many of the main characters. Middle-earth and its philosophy and its morality are informed entirely by Tolkien's beliefs. He believed in a firm line between good and evil, and the battle between the two shaped his story from its first moments to its resounding conclusion.
Yada yada, that's all wonderful and accurate. I have no complaints. Where's the Paul start getting things wrong part?
Nice way of just showing the contrast between the two worlds. It also struck me as I was thinking back, and again, I have to get through Dune and to get into some of the sequels. I don't know how far I'll get into the sequels.
Let's start there. We were planning on doing maybe like some people seem to like some of the voices that I can make out of this box. And as such, I was considering doing a Dune read-through for the membership sections of the stream as a thank you for joining the shadow cabal of production executives that helped me eat. Special thanks to the shadow cabal. But in rereading, like you open the first page, right, and you get to that's the back page. I put it on upside down. It's all inverted now. Everything is inverted. What's going on? That one. Now, it starts off, as you can see here, it starts off with a quote. And the quote is from the Manual of Muad'Dib by Princess Irulan. Now, having this whole Vervaeke word, he's got this thing he calls Lexio Divinia or whatever. I think we might try to do that with Dune during this. Anyway, he goes, and if you know, having read through it before, who the Princess Irulan is, then you get so much more contextual. But it's a beginning is the time for taking the most delicate care that the balances are correct. This every sister of the Bene Gesserit knows. To begin your study of the life of Muad'Dib, then, take care that you first place him in his time. And take the most special care that you locate Muad'Dib in his place, the planet Arrakis. Do not be deceived by the fact that he was born on Caladan and lived his first 15 years there. Arrakis, the planet known as Dune, is forever his place. And so within the first paragraph, Frank Herbert has established that people and in the grand narrative of existence have a place and the time, and it's that level of mimetic brilliance that you're dealing with when we're talking with the work of Frank Herbert's.
Say is there's nothing wrong with your deduction. Your brain works fine. The problem is that you're not submitted to the truth outside of the truth that you want to be true. You're an ideologue.
Right.
You don't care if the baptism of John was from God.
Right.
Tell me that you've lived here your whole life.
No, not yet.
Are you married?
No bad habit.
No bad habit, eh? Well, what do you chew that tobacco for?
For nothing. Nobody's fool enough to pay me for it.
Well, tell me, how far is it to the next crossroads?
Follow your nose and you'll come to it. Follow your nose, follow your nose and you'll
There, Eric Young in the Hive Mind says Book 4, God Emperor of Dune, is the most important book to understand the first 3 books and put them in perspective. Yeah, Dune was a book where I read I read the second and third one, but they didn't land at all, and I left confused and understanding. Yeah, but yes, book 4 is got the gem. My favorite, most precious moment in the series happens in book 4, and I don't know if I want to spoiler enough of it to you. But one of a key if you're reading through for the first time is that Duncan Idaho character, I've been told, is the archetypal representation of the audience, or common man or something. Bonus card, 4 of hearts. Bonus card, 4 of hearts. Now, let's get to something else Pastor Paul said I disagree with, so we can spin off to that part. Okay, all right, let's do that then. No, wait. No, you know what you were doing? What? You were bringing this up. Why? Because, you see, you teased it. You teased it early on in the stream that you would give this gem to people who are tuning in just for the title saying Doom. This was somewhere on the internet. There's a clip, an interview with Frank Herbert, and here's a piece of it I found a long time ago. I liked a lot.
Explains it to a certain first, so on is relatively unexplained. Why do they want the Kwisatz Haderach in the first place? You see, is relatively.
The name of the game is power.
Yeah, and they want power. That explains it to a certain extent, but
they want power in a specific way. You know, I've always been amazed by the statement or by the label of psychological warfare. There could be no such thing as psychological warfare. If you develop a psychological weapon sufficiently that it is destructive to any potential enemy, it will destroy you with the enemy. It's a two-edged sword without a handle, and if you grab it hard enough to wield it, you're going to be
self-destructive.
Yes.
I just found Carl Erie's book about found another Carlos Erie's book that fascinated me, and I'm doing a bit of work on the history of Jerusalem, which is itself a very fascinating thing. These biographies of cities like Shorto's on New York, New Amsterdam, on Old Amsterdam, and so now there's 2 biographies of Jerusalem I'm dipping into.
You were so lucky. The copy of Frank or Alan Moore's Jerusalem I gave to the Cosmic Muppet instead of you. Okay. There's some part in here where you say hero's journey and comparing. No, see, this is where this is this whole card right here, Paul. The Dune series isn't the hero's journey; it's the Messiah's journey, and like, what if? Okay, so you're God, you can see the future, you can see how things play out. Then what? And what must be done in order for what you call humanity, the thing you love, to survive what you can see is going to come? Frank Herbert does calculus by taking out by doing the Butlerian jihad and removing the computers of the thing. It forces the humanity to specialize into such as the Mentets and the loyalty doctor and these aspects. He takes the archetype and takes the human capacity and then takes that archetype to the limits. He's doing calculus. And yeah, the only other thing is the favorite gem thing. So here's a spoiler for you. What follows is going to be a spoiler of my favorite moment of the Dune series and why at this point and at this read through. So if you're not into that, come back in like 5. LARP. We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard.
the ability to LARP and LARP off.
That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his. Yeah. Okay, now the favorite gem, from all of the book series, from reading it through, the pinnacle moment of the series. You have to understand that it involves a character, Paul's sister, the Abomination, who's an abomination because Jessica got all up on the spice while she was pregnant with the Abomination, and that does all sorts of things in the book. One of which makes her just basically she's Legion, and the good Baron takes residence in her mind upon his demise, and is running around with her in her. And when a character for which she has great affection is killed, she begins crying, and because the affection that she has lost in the morning, and the Baron in her mind says, "Which one of you is crying?" And that's my favorite moment in the whole series. And this has been the 40 Days of Dune, day one of the 40 Days of Dune agency stream. Agency MOOC stream. Apparently, the person who wrote Agency MOOCs on the card didn't leave enough in my mind to understand what it's about, but we'll be investigating that in the future as well. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you've gotten something of value out of your time being virtually not alone with Grim Grizz and the Hive Mind. See you next time.